Guys, welcome to another video. All three of you. We're back at Kingswood. I took a 1 week hiatus to go to the land of Deerfield, Illinois, where I had fun having allergies and being tired.
I think we'll all make it through. It ain't wide.
But I'm all recovered now and I'm excited because there's people at this race. Lots of people. And even people that I know. So it's pretty hype. We're titling this race Disappointment and Sadness.
Nice.
Why? Well, you'll see in about 20 minutes. So anyways, this is the 3-4 Crit at Kingswood 2019. This is the third week. This is my second time doing this race. And there's a few big teams here. Alright, I'm going for it. I'm going for it. I'm bringing the watts. Bring in the watts. Someone attacked off the front and I am just so excited to go. I didn't get to race last weekend, and I'm just like, we're going for it. Now, there is a reason behind this, and it's because I know that the breakaway is everything on this course. If you're in a breakaway, 1, 2, or 3 guys, you can go like twice as fast through the corners as you can in the group. It's ridiculous. So, you save a lot of time. And also, for some reason, it's hard to get everybody else to work together to chase the breakaway because the time between corners is so short. It's like 30 seconds. It's just really hard to get organized. But anyways, I was saying there's a few teams here. We got the Bulls team, which you see there. I think that's another Bulls rider, right? There's a blue team. Not that blue team though. There's Dayton, who just went by there. There's 11-11, which there were like 3 of them or 4 of them. There were a lot of Bulls riders and a couple of them got in the way, which was sick. And then there was good old Johnny Bello, formerly Team Audi, Big Red Machine, still the Big Red Machine. Shout out Paul Kilroy. So I think a lot of the Johnny Bello guys did the 4-5 race before this, which I don't really know why. I think you guys should just do the 3-4. You know, bring it all. Bring it all. There's another Bulls rider, one of 12. Maybe the blue team was K&G. So anyways, teams was everything. I mean, you got several teams and for example, right here, it was 2 Bulls riders in front of me who blocked me in so that Bulls rider that I'm blowing by could bridge to the break. Okay? Some bridge that was. I blow by him. Now I'm bridging to the break. But this was happening again and again and again and again in this race. You know, an 11-11 rider would go up the field with a Bulls rider and with a blue rider and a Team Dayton rider. And then all the other riders would just stay behind and block you in so you couldn't chase them down. And of course you had to chase them down because that was it. As a solo rider, you have to chase them down if the teams are in the break. for example, if there was a break and a Johnny Velo rider was not in the break, then you would expect the Johnny Velo team to pull back the brake. But as I said before, it is kind of hard to get organized on this course. But as a solo rider, if a team isn't working together, or if that's an 11-11 rider coming up on the right there. If a team isn't working together, or all the teams are already up the road in the break, then it's the job of the solo riders to make it happen. Now, of course, I should be putting myself in a position to just be in the break, but I tend to, in a way, ride conservatively, or I like to sort of see what happens a lot of the time. So right now I'm totally boxed in, which is my own fault. People are going up. You know, there's a Bulls rider, there's a Blue rider, there's an 11-11 rider. Now this actually worked out okay, because now I'm behind a Dayton rider. So this is most of the teams represented. This is pretty good. Now I don't know if this is a break, but if it was, this would be a decent situation. There's too many people, but kind of a good situation. I just sneak by on the left there, doing like 8 watts, make up 10 positions. I sound a little frustrated, and the reason I sound a little frustrated is because before I make these voiceovers, I actually watch the whole race again before I make the voiceover, so that my commentary has some semblance of meaning. Hold on. Yeah, so I was not ready. You know, this is only the second time I've done a race like this, like a points race where you sprint every 4 laps in this case. And I totally messed up this first sprint, as far as positioning and being ready for the swarm that happens, or, you know, preferably being part of the swarm that happens. But yeah, this guy slammed on his brakes. He's going like 0 miles an hour. Dude, your tires are made of rubber. Go around the corner. Anyways, I just watched the race back and basically saw where I lost it. The race, as I mentioned before, breakaways are everything on this course. The race was won in a breakaway of 3 guys, 3 or 4 guys, I don't remember exactly. And I basically just let them get away. I don't know what I was doing. And it's really frustrating. So that was the first sprint. Since I got swarmed, there were so many people in front of me, there was no way I was gonna actually, you know, place in that sprint. So I just sort of stayed with some people and kept it close, but I wasn't going for the sprint at that point. Some really manic riding going on. I come around because they're letting this gap open, funnel behind that guy, jump across here, nothing's happening. I don't know why there was that huge gap, because now there's nothing happening. The 11-11 guys were not only well organized, but a strong team. So there was another team who was well organized, I would say, but not overall at the same level of strength. So not quite as effective, but the 11-11 team was organized and strong. Every lap, basically. I mean, until the breakaway was established. Some 11-11 rider was attacking or following an attack, and the other 11-11 riders were blocking or sitting in. This was very effective. So I'm in here, and I see some people in front of me who I know are not going to let that attack go away. So I'm not worried. This Ridley frame on the left. It's so cool. It's so old school, but I believe those actually were available just a few years ago. Shout out Ryan Reed, cheering for me for a lot of the race. I didn't bring much, but yeah. I see like mass destruction, so I just punch it. Like, yeah, I'm not letting this go. And you know, with all of my willpower, I sit behind this guy. Yeah, but it looks like that was enough. We're all back together again. This guy's taking a spit break. He warned me. Thank you. For those of you who don't know, Team Johnny Velo, formerly Team Audi, they're a newly transferred team here in Columbus, Ohio, USA. Johnny Velo is a bike shop in Columbus who, I guess, wanted to start a race team. So, you know, I don't actually know the story. I haven't really had a chance to talk to the guys much, but they hopped over there with a whole different set of, I guess you could call them sponsors in a way, or at least preferred equipment. So they were all selling their S-Works bikes in exchange for their Bianchi Ultra bikes, which look very nice. Funnily enough, their kits look exactly the same. I actually didn't realize they were wearing new kits that said Johnny Velo. So I think a couple of them were still wearing the old kit, but even the new kit, it looks like exactly the same too. Good old Panda launching a flyer up the left. I see Justin Benning coming up on my left, so I'm like, he's just gonna lay down the watts. I'm gonna go get him. And with this wind going 26 miles an hour, that's a lot of watts that he's laying down. I talked to him after the race, and he said near the end of the race, when it was sort of a last-ditch attempt to bring back the brake, he took it upon himself to do over 400 watts for 5 minutes, pulling on the front. I can do 400 watts for about a minute, a minute 20 seconds. So that's pretty cool. As he said, that was Alberto Contador's FTP just a few years ago at 130 pounds. So yeah, Cat 3, bro. Cat 4, actually. I just started following the Cat 3 memes page on on Instagram, and yeah, it's been cracking me up. I know I'm late to the game, but it's so relatable. Except for the stuff where they talk about doing whatever intervals you feel like, because I stick to my intervals. So yeah, we're on another sprint lap. I tucked back behind this blue guy. He sort of swung in a direction, I believe intending to let me pass him, but I didn't want to do that because he's so big that he gives a really nice draft. So I wanted him to stay in front of me, but I'm looking back constantly, looking for the swarm. And I pop out to the left right here with the intention of dissuading anybody from coming up the inside there. Got a Johnny Bello rider attacking up the right, followed by a purple. I'm in 4th position, which is pretty good. And actually, I took this turn the best out of everybody in the group, which was really lucky. And now I'm sat behind this 11-11 rider, but he apparently has quite a good sprint because I'm not making up any ground at this point. Don't look at the speed. I'm not going 46 miles an hour uphill. Now I'm just starting to come around him, but yeah, it's too late. So I got second on that lap. And sort of like I did the last time I raced this, I'm going to try to take this opportunity to go for a break. Now, this is a great idea because all the people behind are sort of, tired. Even the people who weren't really going for the sprint, they still had to do 600-700 watts up that hill, and they're having to close the gaps after the sprint. So this is good timing. Look at the gap. Look how broken up it is. However, you'll see I'm settling into 250 watts, 250 to 270 really. I should be well over 300 at this point, trying to establish the break. But after the sprint, I just didn't have the legs. I should be settling into some much higher watts at this point. But I'm really, really struggling to push it. And now I'm letting off the power. I'm sort of already giving up. Like, what am I thinking? Turn, see that they're right there. I'm like, screw it. Here's probably the most important lesson. Being in the break, it feels hard, right? So the small gap that you establish as the breakaway rider, let's say it's 5 to 10 seconds, it feels like nothing because the work you're doing feels so hard. Now I'm accelerating because I knew that as soon as I stopped pedaling, someone else was going to attack. So I was ready for it. I was good to go. But that 5 to 10 second gap feels like nothing as the breakaway rider. But as the chase group, that 5 to 10 second gap feels huge. Something about being in the chase group, and maybe like, at least in my head, I worry about getting dropped. Like, oh, if I pull too hard on the front, then the next guy after me is gonna pull even harder, and I'm gonna get dropped. I worry about that. So if other people are thinking the same way as I am, which I'm guessing a lot of people are, then the effort that goes on in a chase group, if it's not really well organized and people don't really know each other, it might not be at the same level as just a solo rider steadily going. So yeah, the lesson is even if the gap is small, as the solo rider, the breakaway rider, just keep riding. Because you never know. That it just proves itself for like the second half of this race. Anyways, this is another little breakaway, and I'm still kind of hurting a lot. I haven't taken my pull at the front of this group yet. And the blue, there are 2 blue riders here. So that blue rider, he was like legs on fire, man. He was laying it down out of every corner. He really had it. So I wasn't actually comfortable getting to the front with him pulling that hard. If he had done more sort of steady pulls, I probably would have felt more comfortable with where I am right now. How tired I feel. But he was still pulling so hard that I felt that if I went to the front and pulled, and he went next, I would just be drowned. So I stayed back here and just did nothing, which I'm sure they were happy with. Look at that. Look at that speed. At this point, I see that there's riders behind us who are charging pretty hard. They look really determined. So I actually just pull off and funnel behind a group that's chasing on. And I couldn't see what those front 3 did, but we ended up catching on pretty quickly. So that was luckily a good decision. You may have noticed me, like, watched a few of my videos. I'm, like, clearing my throat a lot. I've been really struggling with allergies for, like, the last 6 months. Like, my allergy medication has stopped working for me. So I get, like, itchy skin and itchy throat and, like, lots of mucus from my throat and in my nose. My nose has been like running while I'm riding. It's been running like it never has before. It's like insane. So it's been a struggle. Just never really feeling great. And so I've switched up my medication and increased the dose, which has worked to where I don't itch at all, which is good. But I still am making a lot of mucus, which is not great. And histamine is a neurotransmitter that's pretty important for physical performance. So when you use antihistamine, you inhibit the neurotransmitter. Inhibit is a technical term, and I don't know if that's the correct technical term, but you inhibit the neurotransmitter, so it doesn't work. So that's not an ideal situation, and I really need to find some time to go to the doctor and figure out what's going on. So I believe this is sort of the start of the break that wins the race. So there's a Bulls rider up the field, and I'm stuck behind this Bulls rider now. And my heart rate is 181. I don't remember how I was feeling at this point. I don't remember. Ideally, I would have just hopped across with that group, but I may not have realized right away that there was already a Bulls rider out there. So there's a 11-11 up the field and an 11-11 rider back. So he's not, he's not going to be putting any digs here. This Dayton rider is not doing anything. Is there a Dayton rider up the field? So it looks like the Bulls rider that tried to go with those guys got dropped. So that other Bulls rider started going. Now this is my last. This is the attempt. I did 350 watts for like 2 seconds and got like 200 watts. And I'm like, nah, I'm gonna let you guys chase. If I had just put in the effort for 5 to 10 seconds, my heart rate wasn't even high, it was like less than 170. If I put in the effort for 5 to 10 seconds to just close that gap, it would have been so easy. Well, it wouldn't have been easy, but it's like what I do. And that would have been it. Hold on. Is there another group? Group? I have to look out for that. I'm hopping onto this guy because I looked him up and he's like a triathlete or whatever. And he rides real serious like, so. What's going on here? Is that red guy? He is not at the field. He's going to probably cause problems later. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are there really 5 guys up? Yeah, so I was talking with Adam Osterman after the race, and he said he thought there was a group of 4 and then the group of 3, and I said, I didn't notice. I'll have to look at the footage. And the truth is that I didn't actually watch this whole race back. I just watched until this break happened. And I missed this. Yes, if this is true, then I did worse than I thought. Got 1 second place, and I thought I also 1, 2.
Yo, are you in the race or what?
And then that guy.
Hey man, you gotta get out of the way.
The race organizers didn't pull riders. And there was plenty of interference from riders who were getting lapped. I'm not really sure what's going on with. Also because there were so many lapped riders that I'm not sure who's who. Like we're lapping these guys now too. Should be able to see here. 1, maybe 1, 2. Got blocked. I'm sure this is really entertaining for all 4 of you. and as a result, it gave me a KOM for the course because it would remove like several seconds from each lap just by auto pausing, and then said that I went like 50 miles an hour. That's it. I think that's it. I think it was just the 3 riders. So here's what I'm saying about the gap thing. Those guys had like maybe 5 seconds on us, and it barely grew to the end of the race. It just never closed. I think there were only 2 riders up the field at this point, and so I put in the dig to get the 3rd place spot on this lap, if I'm not mistaken. And let's count how far up the field they are. And that guy bridges. He bridges. If I just hopped on, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 seconds. And that guy bridged. All I had to do was hop on his wheel. And those 3 end up taking the race. Alright, how much time do we have left here? 15 minutes. Yep, so that guy, even still, right? It was 7 seconds, and even he still has not caught them. I'm only at 166 beats per minute. I could have sprinted past these guys. We only did 500 watts. We do 800 watts out of that corner all the time, right? I could have sprinted past these guys and bridged it to the Dayton guy, and then worked with the Dayton guy, or just kept my momentum and blown past the Dayton guy and bridged to the group of two. But no. But how do you know, right? How do you know that a brake is going to stick? Presumably, if I'm feeling pretty good, which I believe I was, why didn't I go for it? Well, maybe because I didn't think it was going to stick. I thought, Johnny Velo might work together to bring it back. I don't think there was a Bulls rider in there. I thought they would work together to bring it back. So I'm putting in another dig, trying to get us moving. Look, I was doing 600, 500, 400 watts, and that only gets me 28 miles an hour. The wind is strong today, so. Hey, maybe someone else can buy me?
Damn you, purple.
To my right is one of the purple 1111 riders. And, he of course was the guy who was right behind me, blocking people from doing any work. Justin goes. I'm happy about it. But purple's still blocking everybody else. So I just go ahead and hop on the train's wheel. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, Justin's gonna do all the watts, and we're just gonna be right there. There was a crit last year, an Ashland crit. It was a 4-5 race. So there's Adam, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say that was a bad move. I think Justin would have happily pulled for much longer. And Adam went for it, and he didn't have it. And I wasn't really prepared to do the work at this point to bring them back. But yeah, Justin at the Ashland crit, he pulled the 4-5 race the whole time. Like 350 watts for like 40 minutes. So I was pretty prepared for Justin to just reel him back in. I can more definitively tell you how many riders were up the field, except the results haven't been posted yet. But I'm pretty sure it was 3. Yeah, now I'm more certain because I thought maybe those Bulls riders were up the field, but they seem to have been passed by our 3 heroes. They were just still in the race, taking up space, blocking us. Oh, just got the results. How timely. In the middle of making this recording. Alright. So overall, in this race, the 3-4 race, I got 6th. I was one of 12 people who scored any points out of 30 or 40 starters, I believe. So I got 6th, and I scored 8 points. The top scorer, Joshua Young, scored 45. James Radden scored 25. Bradley Howler scored 21. Ian Barrett scored 13. Stephen Herman came in 5th from Team Dayton, and he scored 12. And then I got 6th. They don't even list my team name. By the way, I do have teammates, but they're not at this race. So not 100% sure that those results confirm that there were only 3 people up the road, but probably. So I know that one of the people up the road who ended up, who beat me in one of the sprints, they got 1st and I got 2nd in the sprint. They were an 11-11 rider who was not in the breakaway. So I'm pretty sure it was just those 3 people. It'd be great if they would have removed the other riders from the course who got dropped and were being lapped repeatedly, because then it might have been easier to know what was going on. But technically, I guess this is called a practice crit, even though it's worth both upgrade points and you can win money. So I don't really know what makes it a practice crit. Yeah, overall, I have about 30 points in this series, and I mean, I'm only doing 3 of the 5 races, so there's not really any chance of placing.
2 to go. Yeah, so we're not bringing them back at this point. And I'm just, you know, I've given in. I'm sitting in. And I'm just going to go for the group sprint, which isn't worth anything at all, but it's good practice.
One thing that I was really bad at was just staying on people's wheels. I don't know what that's about, but it seems to be my theme. Just being a little bit slow to dig out of the corner. You know, these Bulls riders were really great. They'd come up, you know, fly up on some side, and then go nice and slow through the corner, and then barely accelerate out of the corner. That was all really cool. So I'm staying back, keeping it cool. We're gonna have one lap to go. And I'm gonna take this opportunity to put in a little effort, move up a few spots. This is the tailwind section, so a little bit of power gives you a lot of advantage. And this guy seems really determined to stay in front of me, so I'm gonna let him. Still a lot of time to move up, a deceptively long amount of time. Cool bike he's got there. So things are slowing down for the, you know, coming into the end here. We went pretty hard out of that corner, but it's going to slow down here for the end. Or not, never mind. We're still cruising. Whoever's on the front's doing a lot of watts to go this fast. 1111 goes up the outside. He's saying, screw you guys, I'm going home. But you'll see what happens here. Listen. Oh, he went down. And here we go. Massive, crazy watts. 800. You ain't never seen watts like that.